Cancer is relentless, and no one knows that better than Joe Watroba. From his personal encounter to watching the disease take away loved ones, and still, the Mohonasen and Siena grad views it through the lens of opportunity.
I don't know where I would be if I wasn't diagnosed with cancer.
1 month before his 16th birthday, Joe Watroba received the news he now describes as a blessing.
And I'll never forget being told that I have cancer. Like I said, it was a snowstorm, Valentine's Day 2007.
An athletic sophomore at Mohonasen High School, Joe's future as more than a golfer and basketball player was thrown for a scary loop.
You know, I tried to go from golf to play basketball, but I just had no stamina, had no strength. My back hurt, my legs hurt.
A series of bone scans and biopsies revealed the source of Joe's pain and what doctors would describe as a femur resembling Swiss cheese, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. 15 years old and in for the battle of his life.
I think playing back to that moment is when, I think my life started. You don't have a choice. It's either you stand up and do it or you lay down.
Stand up, Joe did. The summer after his diagnosis, Joe was back on the golf course. 1 year later, he was a NewsChannel 13 Athlete of the Week and an honoree at Coaches vs. Cancer. When Joe arrived at Siena, he stayed in basketball as a student manager. After graduation, Joe and his family started Play It Forward 518, a nonprofit which has raised more than $100,000 for organizations that helped Joe through his fight.
Working with all these people, it was like, it's all about relationships. When you care about people, you're gonna, be very successful.
In treatment and recovery, Joe's mom spent countless nights in the hospital with him, while his dad was in charge of bringing Joe to doctor's appointments.
That became like our bonding, and he would, when he had to, push me in the wheelchair.
The bedrock of that father-son bond was sports, specifically Siena basketball, a popular subject in the Watroba family group texts.
We communicate daily, even did before, so if you don't hear from somebody, you kind of get this inkling, and it was just one of those days that you just didn't, your stomach was turning.
Cancer was back in the Watroba family. Joe's dad, Stanley, already beat prostate cancer, but now faced an incurable form of multiple myeloma.
When we knew my dad was going to pass away, we asked my dad to call and leave a voicemail, so we had something.
I just want to say, Joe, all these years, right, I used to look down and say, if my son can beat it, I can beat it, buddy. So for those 10 years, you really helped me out a lot.
I can't listen to the whole thing, but just to know that he fought on as far as he did because he saw me do it.
I will always love you, Joe. God bless you, Joe. Take care. Daddy loves you. Bye-bye.
Stan Watroba died 11 days later. He battled courageously for 8 years. He lived voraciously.
Anywhere that we could go, he was going because he knew, that may be his last chance.
And he saw Joe marry Michaela, a relationship that started on Siena's campus.
She was around during my dad's diagnosis, and she was huge, there for me. But obviously I owe that to Siena as well.
That's Chris Honorato reporting. Joe Watroba now works as an accountant at Thielbecker and Shermani. Play It Forward 518 gives kids from Albany Med's Melody Center the opportunity to be an honorary captain at every Siena men's basketball home game. To join the fight against cancer and to watch this week's stories, go to WNYT.com, click on coronavirus and the new Cancer Challenge.